Hi, everybody. I'm Nick Slavik. I'm the proprietor of the Nick Slavik Painting and Restoration Company and the host of that Buttock Jack. It's not your time in. I'm also the host of Ask a Painter Live. It is a weekly live mini channel show where we talk about the life of a master craftsperson and an entrepreneur. We are here with very special people at a very special place, Chris Moore's EBA retreat, Elite Business Advisor Retreat. And there's 50 people here, some of the greatest paint businesses in North America, and some of the greatest presenters are here, all of our friends that we know and love. And we're here to answer questions, but also we want a recap of the event. So this is an annual event held in St. Louis. Basically, it's days of lectures and education and panel discussions. We had a private dinner at the St. Louis Cardinal Stadium, entire place to ourselves, which just seems unfathomable. It seemed very expensive, and I'm grateful we didn't pay for it. And and then today we got to give a talk, and I'll let these guys give some feedback. But this one is special for me because I love Chris Moore, love this thing. But my daughter Orelia has never seen me present formally. You guys haven't either, and you guys also got to present. So number one, let's get some just general feedback from this is your first industry event, the first time speaking, the first time meeting a lot of my friends. What do you think?
One incredible experience, being around like-minded people that have the same desire as you do to become somebody and always pushing towards those next steps. A lot of respect to these guys. Really happy I got to shadow a lot of this and even be able to present to some of these people at a young age like this. Was a pretty awesome feeling. So,
yeah, for me, I think the coolest part was being able to not only learn but also to teach. I had so many people have questions that were simple for us and simple for our company and like really valuable to other people. So to be able to take from other people and then give to others, that was really cool to me.
That's what I enjoy about all this stuff, which is, you've heard the servant leader thing being tossed around, which is this is a room full of people who are not only good at what they do, but then find ways to give back to others, which is a great thing. So.
I had a ton of fun meeting everybody. I was going into it not knowing everyone was so welcoming, so it was very easy to feel like I fit in there. So I really liked the positive environment.
And also having a personal aunt and friend of Maggie Kuiper to put your arm around you in the industry, the current PCA board chair, and one of the coolest people in the industry. You could do a lot worse.
Yeah.
Right? So it was good. So other feedback, other things you noticed, things that surprised you, things you didn't expect.
Everybody has a different level of management and different style, and none of them are wrong. That was the number one thing.
Some of them are not effective as others.
Correct. But you want a war room type of guy, John McFarland, in here that's going to go to fight every day. That's one way to do it. And I was getting fired up off his speech. And then you have others, Matt Kuiper, for example. It takes maybe more of a slower approach to certain things in his current role, which sounds like it's new for Matt. But both are extremely successful, great people. So I thought that was an interesting stat line.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Like, it was cool to see companies at every single stage of the process and then to get their insight of what they're thinking and what they want their future to look like. Just from the bottom to the top, I thought it was super interesting to see how a lot of them have the same values and then also like extremely different goals. So it was cool.
Going off that, I had the same thought as both of them, but I really thought it was cool how instead of like pitting each other against each other, almost like everyone was able to like work together and like go for the common goal. Like you're not competing for sales; it's all trying to work together.
All right, so I think the one thing in hindsight I have done very well and intentionally is curate a group of friends and colleagues in this industry that are some of the most interesting humans and paint business owners in the entire world. Tell me about some of the unique people that.
I think his name was John. I know a lot of people here, not McFarland, but another one, to ask me a question kind of right before we had taken off that I haven't even told you yet. But he had said, with you and Nick in your relationship, you guys obviously are a little bit further apart in age, just a little.
You're farther apart than I am from you.
Correct.
Makes sense.
But how do you get along in such a great way and have the same amount of trust, goals, and mindset to move things forward?
What was your answer?
My answer was you got to go for, well, he was asking, how do you hire somebody like that? Basically, my answer to that was you have to find people with that same mindset. Nick and I have the same exact goals and want the same end result. How we do things, a little bit differently. Not much, but a little different.
But here, let me.
Yeah.
But you also have to offer them something, right? It's like, hey, Jack, we have all the same goals and mindset. Great. You want to come stain decks for $14 an hour?
Not happening.
All right, there you go. You got to offer them something.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was cool from my side.
For me, we got to stop in Detroit and see John McFarland and see his office space. And
Complete wild, man.
yeah, I was just like blown away. I don't know what I was expecting to see, but it topped it. So
Yeah, it wasn't that.
yeah, it
And
wasn't
even
that.
me, from knowing John and knowing what that looks like, seeing it is always different than just knowing it. And huge.
Yeah, so I thought that was super cool, and then we had the opportunity to like conversate with him for the 8-hour trip to St. Louis. So like any question I had could get answered, and it was just super cool to listen to that conversation.
Yeah, I really liked how there were so many different styles of business or different ways to run the same industry, basically. So it was really cool seeing the different opinions and styles and just how other people are doing it. And also everyone was so motivated, and everyone like genuinely has such a strong drive to be there. So I thought that was really empowering.
Yeah, you typically, like, you encounter inspirational people and people who are like parents, good husband and wives, good citizens occasionally. This is a condensed, like Campbell's soup, condensed version of all that stuff. And so I think you guys can understand why I'm attracted to these things. And even with industry events where I just go and I speak and I'm 30 hours in and out, the only difference is that you only hear me speak during those things. I take the entire day, but the interactions don't change. We have a dinner the night before, we have lunch together, it's all the same thing. And selfishly, I always feel like I always get more out of it from all the interactions with people. I met 2 to 3 people that I kind of knew from the internet but didn't really have a relationship with, that are of our business size, that are going through some very unique things that people of our business size and experience. So that to me is like, it's selfish. Now I have 2 to 3 contacts to follow up with. It's also really cool to see, like, Jack, you were at a retreat before. AMZ is taking you on as like a younger brother.
Yeah,
which is
literally.
cool. And like, that's not something where it's like, Jack, listen, when we go to the retreat, you're going to have to do a series of things to ingratiate people with this. If you, the goal of the PCA, and I think, when you think about Chris Moore's retreat, that's like I don't want to say the lowest level, but it's the most grassroots sort of event around here. It's an amazing event, but it's grassroots. It kind of goes up to the PCA national events where we have the 4 big events in the fall, and then it's the Super Bowl. So you guys have now touched the grassroots 50 to 60 person event. It then goes up to the 100 to 200 event, and then it goes up to the 1500 event. And so if you can imagine a super concentration of this, but then you also get $160 million paint businesses that are there that fly in on their jets and stuff. It's just, you can understand why this is important for me, not to just get on a plane and go, and not to, I get paid for education, not just turn this into a business, but this is lifeblood. Like, this, being around this many people 20 times a year is what keeps me going and keeps this business going. So very cool. The conference, the education, the bills, the hotel, the everything else, the logistics of it, the structure of it, feedback on any of that stuff. More than what you thought, less than what you thought, something surprised you, anything weird.
I like the even mix. Being young and sitting in a chair for 8 hours or whatever it was.
Being old and sitting in a chair for 8 hours.
Yeah, that too. It's typically not my number one most favorite thing to do. But when you mix it up and you got breaks where you interact with people and people get feedback back and forth. We have panels of 3, a lot of good conversation, feedback, questions, interactive, stuff like that. Makes it much more enjoyable when you're actually presenting, even if you're in the audience. You're part of the show.
Yep.
I think the best component was the non-classroom things, like especially being younger than the average person here. There's a lot of settings where you go into something like that and nobody wants to talk to you. And I think every single person in the EBA came out to all of us and wanted to start conversations and ask questions, and that's what we all want to. And it's just a super inviting environment in those spaces.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is I think you guys understand the groundwork that I laid here to make it a ripe environment for whoever eventually would like follow me in this stuff. Because man, I have worked damn hard to make good friends, keep up. There's not a person here. If you heard the guys in the panel, if any of us said what we said today, but that we're not treating our wife and children well, you would be castigated. Like you would be persona non grata. Like you take it for granted that all of us are here and doing this, but like this is a very selective group of people who demands its members to live well, speak well, treat others well. And so it's also a hack to come in if you are that. Just want to speak welcome to people. And what's cool, I was thinking about your involvement here, which is like, and your guys too. I mean, you're basically the company and my family's experience with me doing what I do 20 times a year is Nick is gone, Dad is gone, boss is gone. I just disappeared, right? And so like, yes, they understand what I'm doing, but now that you guys are here and seeing it, and like, you can understand why I do this. It's not beneficial to leave my company as many times as I do, although I have a great team, but this is a value add. I mean, the reason we are where we are is because of these sort of things. And overlooking the crowd, 20 to 30% women, that's a pretty cool thing. Like 10 years ago, I mean, this was not the way the industry. I remember my first Expo was in New Orleans. We're going back to New Orleans this February. My first one. Listen, I love the industry. I love all the people in it. The average age and type of a human was a 72-year-old white dude. And it was like, that was great. It was a super inspiring expo, but it wasn't this. We didn't have Spanish speakers. We didn't have women. We didn't have young entrepreneurs. And so I really love that the industry has changed so that, if there was a 17-year-old woman who had her shit together who came around the industry 10 years ago, it would have ground the conference to a halt. You would have heard that proverbial record scratching. You must be in the wrong place. But now it's like, oh yeah, it's another one of you. Come on in, So yeah. Any of the logistics things and
I thought the whole event was so organized and it was so well, like everything was so thought through, everything was so planned out. It was very well structured, very well set up. All of the time slots were like filled, the breaks were good, the meals were good, everything was just so planned out and organized, and so that was very, very fun to see.
Love it. All right, last thing is I'm going to ask you guys for each one takeaway. If you condense it down, there's a lot, right? It's drinking from the fire hose, as every human said, but there is one takeaway that you would be either been thinking about or will think about. And while you guys are thinking about that, I will give mine as well. But grateful that this industry and these humans welcomed all my people with open arms. And this is what I had dreamed about 10 years ago of building this community, because my entire professional life has been so, and you couldn't talk about any of these things. I can't go down and talk to a lot of the people that I surround myself with about the vision and strategy for 30 years of this thing. Like everybody's got a lot of stuff in their life going on. It's not appropriate. So to be here and do this sort of thing, this fulfills a very big part of my job description, which is the visionary and the strategist of this company, which is, we didn't talk about a lot of specific things. We talked a lot about strategy and things like that. So, you guys ready to give your final big takeaway?
I can go if you
want. Yeah. Stall.
My takeaway isn't so much of like a lesson, but it's more of just like, I kind of feel like this is where I'm supposed to be in my future. Like this is kind of where I
take it easy on that.
So, like,
smoking in here. Damn.
Like I felt like I fit in very easily with this group of people, with this environment, with this business setting, and so I really think that now, with my last year of high school, I'll definitely try to go on more of these trips, start getting more into the company as much as I can, so that hopefully one day I can be an important person here, important figure.
It'll be fun to see what the future holds. So, all right, who's next?
I think my biggest takeaway is that this is a good reminder that we're not the only ones doing this, and there were a lot of people here to learn from, and a lot of people here, like there were people working on things that I pitched in 3 weeks ago, and so it's like people are at the exact same stages, and just being able to bounce ideas off of those people is super helpful, and it's a good reminder.
My takeaway is the big support system that's here. I mean, Nick and I have talked about some pretty lofty and big things for this company, and a lot of faith in that. And some of it, when you're in your own head, is what can we make this happen?
Yeah.
And when you got people surrounding you that are like, Yeah, I'd say you could. You just gotta put your foot to the floor here. I was all for that.
It's good.
That's my take on it.
And it's always good to know, like, there's a bunch of, it's tough. Yeah, with the most humbleness and respect, I can say, like, the problem with our business is that we're the top 1% of the industry. That's not saying we'll do something amazing. It says something else about the rest of the industry, which is it's pretty still rudimentary and unprofessional. So if you're being critical and objective, it's actually hard to find a bunch of people. There's only 1% of the humans that we can potentially learn from and find inspiration from that have gone beyond our seasons. And what are the chances that they're one of 1,500 PCA members? There's 428,000 painters in the United States. What's the chance that one of those 1% is a PCA member? It's actually very high proclivity, but then that they're here, right? And we found 3, 4, 5, 6 of them that are beyond us in seasons or with us here. And so it's always nice to get humbled. And what I love about the PCA Expo is that you will get served a big pile of how dare you be proud of what you built. Like, if you think you're a good marketer, go to the Expo. Like, we will be exposed to stuff that are like, everything I've done is stupid, I need to start over. And that is the point, and that's what I go there for. I love brutality. So my biggest takeaway was, what I love is it was from Maggie Kuiper's speech, her talk, but it came from Matt Kuiper, who was not talking. And it was something that he says that Maggie uses as well, which is they're talking about having awkward conversations and being a non-avoidant leader. And they said a great thing to say to another, you're too important for me not to say this. And that just hit me like a ton of freaking bricks, man. Like, that, if I was doing something wrong and had to have to toe the line and address it, if somebody started with that, you have now completely de-escalated whatever emotions I had. And now it's like, I almost want to like go out of my way to please you now. So that is a good thing. And don't for a second think I'm not going to use it on you guys some point. So
I'll just never screw up.
Just never screw up again. We had to be here for that one. That was good. So, yeah. All right, guys. This is awesome. I'm glad you're here, first of many. And this is going to be fun. The next 10, 20, 30, 40 years are going to be pretty damn fun. So, all right, folks.
Okay.
It's a little that went too smooth. We just needed a little awkwardness right at the end. So, all right.
Leave it to the dad. Does that happen a lot, Orelia?